Hey Pisces, welcome to Sweet Tea Astrology and Tarot. My name is Erica. I'm so glad that you found me. Welcome to the channel. Thank you for being here. This is your June full moon astrology video. So, I've got 3 sets of cards that I'm going to use for this video, but let's talk about the full moon for a second first. We will be experiencing a full moon on June 8th or 9th of the month, depending on where you live on the planet. And aside from the full moon, there's also going to be Jupiter going direct in Libra. So the full moon will be playing very nicely with the planet Saturn. And Saturn is a planet that represents structure, containment, and limitation, also restriction. When I think of Saturn, I think of the building code inspector, because wherever Saturn goes, it tests the integrity of the house that it is transiting through. Each of us has an astrological chart, our natal chart, a picture of the sky from the perspective of where we were born on Earth, the very moment we took our very first breath. It's really quite beautiful when you think about it. And in each one of these houses, each one of the planets will travel through every so often in different transitory timelines. Right now, Saturn is transiting through your 10th house. Now, Saturn likes to be in the 10th house. The 10th house is traditionally ruled by Capricorn. And the 10th house, I think of through the lens of William Shakespeare, because he said all the world is a stage. The 10th house is the stage that you approach the world on, and it's how the world knows you. It's through your career and your status, your reputation, your dealings with authority figures in your world, in your life, or in their field of expertise. And what I mean by that is people that you have to answer to in your personal life, in your work life, or people that you do deal with that are experts in their field of authority. So a full moon will be illuminating something in that 10th house, possibly highlighting a need for you to pay attention to issues of boundaries or structure or restriction, containment. Just depends on what's going on in your personal natal chart. Now, this Jupiter transit that's going on. Jupiter is the planet of increase, expansion, and excess. Jupiter I like to think of as a hot air balloon or a helium balloon. Wherever Jupiter goes, it expands. So if Jupiter comes into an area of life where there's been nothing but good going on, then it's probably going to be a whole lot more good going on. But if Jupiter tiptoes in when it's not so good, or even maybe neutral, it could be good, bad, or ugly sometimes, just depending on other things that are influencing the situations around you. Jupiter will be going direct in Libra. This is your 8th house. Now, the 8th house is traditionally ruled by Scorpio. It's the house of life, death, and rebirth. It's the house of other people's money. It deals with transformation, regeneration, and metamorphosis. It's also the house of sexuality. It deals with other people's money. And it deals with our instincts. It can be our primal, basic, or human instincts. So those are the 2 areas of life that are going to be highlighted, or at least talked about astrologically in this video here. Now, the thing about the full moon is, for every degree of the zodiac, there is something called a Sabian symbol. And this is a pictorial representation created by a clairvoyant psychic named Elsie Wheeler back in 1925. And the Sabian symbol associated with this full moon that we will be experiencing at almost 19 degrees of Sagittarius reads, "Pelicans menaced by the behavior of men seek safer areas to bring up their young." Another interesting little tidbit on this full moon is that it is also traditionally called the strawberry full moon, and that's why I have the little strawberries up in the title screen portion area. Yeah, you saw strawberries when you clicked on this link. I'm going to go ahead and start shuffling my deck for you. The first deck that I'm going to pull from is the Illuminated Tarot deck. This is a new deck to me. The author of the deck actually took the major arcana and condensed it into the minor arcana. And this deck is a 52, 56 card deck for traditional playing cards. And they each have their own particular associations. I wrote on this deck to make it a little bit more of mine, if you will. But that really won't impact you. I'll still explain this stuff like I would any other tarot card. Pisces. Okay, you had a card pop. So we're going to use that, but I'm also going to cut the deck and pull another card for you. So, if you're a new viewer, I call this extra card a lagniappe card. I'm from Louisiana, or that's my adopted home state. And lagniappe means a little something extra. So you got an extra card, you got a lagniappe card in your reading. Congratulations, Pisces. That can be a good thing, that can be a bad thing. We'll just see what's going on. The second deck that I'm pulling from is from the Sage Goddess Gemstone Oracle deck. And the final deck that I'm going to pull from is the Sacred Rebels Oracle deck. That deck is by Elena Fairchild, and the artwork is by Autumn Sky Morrison. For my Pisces viewers and friends for this full moon in Sagittarius. Okay, let me cut. That card did not want to come up, so this will be your card, as well as this one. Come on, Pisces. Y'all gonna make this a 30-minute video. Finally, the Sacred Rebels Oracle deck. There are messages that you need to hear, so if it needs to be a 30-minute video, it'll be a 30-minute video. This is actually, the Sacred Rebels deck is the first Oracle card deck that I purchased for myself in an online transaction. And the cards were literally screaming at me through the Amazon website, like, you need to have me now. I need to be in your home. So it happened. Alright, let me cut this deck for y'all. There's your Sacred Rebels Oracle deck card. Okay, Pisces, what I'm going to do now is hit the pause button, flip these cards over, meditate on them, and look at my astrological notes for y'all, and I'll be right back with your full moon oracle story. Hang tight, y'all. I'll be right back. Hi, Pisces. I'm back with your cards, so let's go ahead and get started. Now, the card that flipped for you while I was shuffling was the Fool card in the Illuminated Tarot deck. This is the 0 card. So I see this as, whenever I see the number 0, I think of a couple different things. I think of it as a clean slate. I also think of it as a new, like a seed for planting. Sometimes I see it as completion. I also see it as just another indicator of a cycle. So that's what I see. That's what I think of when I think of the number 0. In this regard, this card in itself deals with freedom and fearlessness. But the Fool card in the traditional Rider-Waite tarot deck deals with, it's the representation of the planet Uranus. Uranus is the planet of shocks and surprises, liberation and rebellion and changes. The association with the Fool card in the Rider-Waite Tarot deals with a great awakening or being the great awakener. It also is surrounded with the themes of innocence and being naive. Now, Pisces, you have Uranus transiting through the 2nd house, and these placements are especially for Pisces rising. Some of you Pisces sun may feel it, maybe Pisces moons as well, but definitely Pisces rising. Uranus transiting through the 2nd house. Okay, so Uranus is the planet of shocks and surprises. It's the planet of liberation and change, right? Okay, the second house is the house of your money, your earning ability, and your self-esteem. It is the house of your possessions and the things that you love, the things that you want close to you. When I think of the second house, I think of the things that you point to, classify, identify, or introduce as mine. So, shocks and surprises in that second house. It may be that you're looking forward to or expecting some money in some way or another, and it may either be more than you were expecting or not near what you were expecting. It could be that you are also in negotiations dealing with your career or some salary or something like that, and the money that's coming around is either more than you expected or not as much, is what it's looking like with the influence of the Fool card. But let's continue. The card that I pulled for you from the deck is the Queen of Clubs. The Queen of Clubs is associated with the themes of confidence and strength. She is representative of the Queen of Wands in the traditional Rider-Waite Tarot. And the Queen of Wands is associated with fire sign energy, and the fire signs are Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. She's also known for her influence, and she can be very vibrant, bubbly, exuberant, fiery. You notice her when she's on fire, you can't help but notice. We had some stuff go on in the fire signs here recently, so let's talk about that. We had Venus go retrograde in Aries. And she actually tiptoed back into Pisces for a second, so you felt it as well. Venus is the planet that rules love, beauty, harmony, money, and resources. And Venus is also the planet that rules the zodiac sign that rules the second house that Uranus is transiting through. It's a lot of onion layers in this astrology and tarot stuff, y'all. In Leo, we just had the north node of the moon transit into Leo. And we're all going to be starting to looking at life and embracing life more from a heart-centered, child-centered, egocentric, not selfish, not an ego self-ish kind of thing, but egocentric, like me first. Sometimes there are situations where me first is the appropriate and right thing. Childlike selfishness, not being a brat, but just taking care of yourself first. Very heart-driven, heart-centered themes of life coming around, and people are going to be approaching their lives from a more heart-centered, child-centered, or egocentric sort of perspective now. And that's a good thing. Sagittarius, the other fire sign, is experiencing a full moon, and this is your 10th house is where this is occurring. That area of career, status, reputation, dealing with authorities. It's also a house of destiny. That all the world is a stage. That's this house. This is your stage. You may need to experience or bring about a revival of some vibrancy or exuberance in that area, or it could be that the shocks from Uranus are bringing forth that exuberance. I hope that's the case. I only want good things for you, but I love you enough to empower you with the information on both sides. Now, the card that I have positioned next is the Sacred Rebels Oracle card, and this is the number 5 card from this deck. It says, follow your own rhythm. And I love this card. I love this deck. Every one of these pictures are beautiful. I love that this woman is completely enraptured in dancing to the rhythm of some music that even you and I can't hear. But you can see she's entranced in it, and she's completely enveloped in it, not paying attention to anything that's going on around her, but completely surrendered to the influence around her, and allowing that motion, that movement, that flow to go through her, almost like she's a vessel. Autumn Sky Morrison did a great job in her art, her skills in being able to convey motion in a still picture. The number 5 I associate with the 5th house on the astrological wheel. And that's the house that's ruled by Leo. That's the house of our spark. The spark of love, the spark of life, the spark of creation. It's where we go to blow off steam, to hang out with our friends. It's our social circles, our social life. It's where we go to seek pleasure. It's where we find romance and fall in love. It's the spark of love. And it's a spark of life, because that's where you create your biggest masterpieces. And for some people, that is their children. For other people, it's works of art or other things that they put their time and passion into. There's a lot of 5th house focus that will be going on throughout the month of June for you. You will have Mars moving into that 5th house at the beginning of the month. After the full moon, you've got the sun moving in, and then Mercury. And at the very end of the month, you've got a new moon. A lot of stuff going through that 5th house. And the best advice for you is for you to follow your own rhythm. The rhythm of your heart, the rhythm to the beating of your own drum, whatever it is that you need to follow. It's more about to thine own self be true. Follow the rhythm of the beat, your heartbeat. Follow your heart. Follow where your heart leads you. And follow the beating of your own drum. March to it, and do not be afraid to be unapologetically you, but be kind in all of your doings. Remember that the universe will not allow your destiny to pass you by. It will come back to you in themes, cycles, if you pay attention. It gives you an opportunity to get a redo. Maybe not the exact same situation, but in the same ballpark. Are you paying attention? Because nothing will be gained by continually pushing against the same brick walls. Trust in the cycles of life. Trust in the balance that they bring, and help the balance that they bring, and it helps you to find that sweet spot in between effort and surrender, between discipline and between letting go. For some of you, it will be about effort. For others of you, it will be about surrender. And for even more of you, it could be discipline. And sadly, for some of you Pisceans, letting go will also be a theme. One other piece that I would like to point to you is that if you're going to look at the posture of the characters in the cards, which I do give credence to, she is looking to the past. It may be something that needs to be resolved or let go of. Now, for your Sage Goddess Gemstone Oracle cards, the card that stayed on the table, Tiger's Eye. It deals with stability, discernment, and strength. It can help heal and amplify the vibrations of the solar plexus and the root chakra vibrations. Tiger's Eye activates the workings of the mind in profound ways while protecting you and imbuing you with ancient deep wisdom. You have pulled this card because you seek balance, mental clarity, and empowerment in your decision making. So meditate with Tiger's Eye to weigh both sides of the situation, to gain insight from your guides, and to come to a fair and informed conclusion. Tiger's Eye. And the second card that I pulled for you is Blue Argonite. This deals with your intuition, empathy, and peace. It can help heal and amplify the throat and third eye chakra vibration. Blue Argonite intensifies psychic abilities, stabilizes emotions for empaths, and heals emotional wounds. It aids in better communication as well. You have pulled this card to support you in overcoming the shield of numbness you use to block out the intense emotions of others. Meditate with blue argonite to stabilize yourself, to open your intuition, and to heal emotionally. Some of you Pisceans need emotional healing. We all need it, but Neptune's going through Pisces right now. There's been a lot of emotional things come up. Neptune is the planet that represents nebulousness, illusion, addiction, delusion. It can be mental illness. It can be foggy thoughts. It can be lots of emotions and crying. It can be people being dishonest with you. It can be you being dishonest with yourself. Lots of things going on. But Chiron is also going through Pisces. And Chiron is the planetoid. It's an asteroid that astrologers give it weight for its resonance in the sky. They call it a planetoid anyways. But Chiron represents the wounded healer, and it's where you need where you've been wounded and where you need healing. And with Chiron moving through where Neptune is, it's like the sadness that Neptune may bring, or the sadness that Neptune may herald, or the emotions, or the addiction, or the delusion, whatever it is, Chiron is coming up behind after the fact, trying to help you clean up the pieces and put it back together again. Does that make sense? I hope so. Because that's what I've got for you, Pisces. I hope you enjoyed this full moon oracle reading. If you did, please like, share, and subscribe. And if you already have, I thank you from the bottom of my very grateful heart. I'll see y'all soon for the July videos. But please take care of yourself, and please be kind to yourself, because we're all going through private battles in our world that some of us may never speak about to another living soul, Pisces. I'm sending you so much love. Again, take care of yourself. I'll see you soon. Namaste. Bye, y'all. And I love you, Pisces.